There's an awesome Armenian fairy tale called The Patient Suitor about a man who has to listen to the horrible mistakes made by other men before he can get the woman that he wants. A poor boy falls in love with the daughter of a rich man. So he goes to his mom and he's like, "Mom, go ask this rich man if I can marry his daughter." And she's like, "Ooh, son, he's not going to say yes to that." And he's like, "Please, please, please ask." And so she's like, "Okay." So she goes to the rich man. She's like, "Hey, my son really wants to marry your daughter." The man says, "Yeah, send your son to come see me." And the mom's kind of stunned. And she goes home and she's like, "Go see the dude." And so the son does. Then the dad says, "Hey, I'll let you marry my daughter, but first you need to go to this one city and learn the story of a man whose business it is to wash clothes from dawn to sunset, yet he cannot ever finish washing a single handkerchief." So our dude goes to the city and he sees this man who's trying to wash a handkerchief, but then he looks up at the steeple of a church, looks down, runs up to the top of the steeple and runs down again and does it all day. And then by the end of the day, he has not washed anything. Our dude goes up to him and he's like, "Dude, why are you doing this?" And he's like, "I can't tell you until you tell me the story of this dude in another town who is a blind beggar, but anytime anyone offers him money, he says, 'No, just give me a slap in the face.'" So our main guy finds that guy, and that guy says, "I'll tell you why I do this once you go and find this rich man in another city who knocks himself between boulders between business trips." So our guy goes to that city, and the dude is on one of those business trips, and he isn't going to be back for 6 years. But the girl that our guy wants is so beautiful, he's like, "I will wait here 6 years until this man comes back and I can ask him." So when the dude does come back, he's like, "Wow, I'm impressed you waited 6 years, and for that, I will tell you my story. When I was young, I left my wife to go seek my fortune, just abandoned her. I bought and traded for 20 years, and then when I came home, expecting my wife to have been faithful to me this whole time, I see her in bed with a young, handsome man. I took out my bow and arrow and I killed both of them in their bed, went and spent the night in a tavern, and when I woke up in the morning, I was informed that was my wife and the man was my son. She'd been pregnant when I left 20 years ago. So I thought she was cheating and she wasn't, and I murdered my wife and my child. So that's why I throw myself against rocks now, because I deserve it." So our guy goes back to the blind man, tells him the story. The blind man's like, "Okay, now I'll tell you my story." Basically, he had met this dervish, like a religious person who's taken a vow of poverty. The dervish gave him 40 camels, like as a gift, but he said, "Don't ask for this box I have." But the guy wanted the box, and so he asked for it, and he's like, "What's in here?" The dervish said, "It's ointment that if you put it on one eye, you're able to see underground and like find oil and buried treasures. But if you put it on both eyes, you go blind." And so the guy's like, "Give it to me." And he takes it, he uses it on one eye, he finds all this treasure, but then he's like, "Ooh, I really want to put it on my other eye because, then I'll see more treasure." Totally forgetting what the dervish said. So he puts it on both eyes. That's why he's blind. He asked the dervish for help, and the dervish said, "You are too selfish to ever enjoy life." Then he slapped my face and took my camels, and that's why I ask people to slap my face now, because I deserve it. So then our guy goes back to the handkerchief washing guy, tells him this story, and the handkerchief washing guy tells him his story, which might be the wildest. He was a poor washerman, just like he is now, and one day he goes home to his humble hut, but it has become a beautiful palace, and there's a woman like an angel inside. She says, "Welcome, this is your home and your family." And she takes him in, and there's precious gems and rugs and silk curtains, a throne in the middle of the room, and then 39 other women as hot as this angel woman. And they tell him, "We are all here to live with you. You may eat and sleep with all of us. But one condition, you must never express dissatisfaction. If you complain 3 times, all of this will disappear." So he stays with them for a while. One of them even bears him a child. But then one day it's really misty outside. And he says, "Oh, why is it misty? Why isn't the weather pleasant?" And they're like, "Ooh, that was your first strike." A few months go by and it rains, and he's like, "Why is it raining?" And they're like, "Strike 2. Months pass again, and then finally it's a really hot day, and he's like, "It's so hot I can't breathe." And then everything vanishes and he's alone in his hut again. And so now when he washes his clothes in the river, he looks up at the steeple and sees his wife and child again. I mean, I guess the wife that bore him the child. He doesn't see all 40 of them. And he always runs up to them, but they're gone once he gets up there like a mirage, and then he has to come back down again, eternally tormented for his mistake. Our dude says, "Thank you," goes home to the rich man and tells him this story. And then the rich man says, "My son, since you have showed such patience in learning these stories, you are the right man to marry my daughter." And so they got married. And we can only hope that the girl wanted to marry him too, and that he learned something from all of these stupid men who did not appreciate what they had. The story has great life lessons for everyone. but also for men or anyone entering into marriage. Like, look at the people who came before you, look at the mistakes they made, try to learn from them, try to do better. If you take the time to study that, to learn from that, and to be patient before you are given what you want, you will take better care of it and you'll have a better life. And just don't complain about the weather, man. Weather changes.